what Lynn said, right? So at Shire, we followed the same kind of strategy that Lynn spoke about. We would have biannual meetings with our strategic partners, where all the key leaders, from finance, quality, reg affairs, supply chain, we'd all get together at one of their sites and have a discussion around what's in our pipeline, and things like that, so that the CDMOs can then plan on any additional capacity builds that they may have to do to support what's coming down the pipeline, right? That's an important conversation that needs to be had. Uh, at those meetings, we also talk about what are the opportunities for reducing cost of goods, right? I was at one of our CDMOs when the plant general manager asked me, why do you care about working capital, right? As a plant manager, you shouldn't be asking me such questions. The lead time to make one of our products at that particular site was 250 days. So order to cash, if you can imagine the amount of money that's stuck in their pipeline within as waste in their own company, that they could free up with, instead of asking us to give them, more money, because they're saying, hey, we don't make enough money. Can you give us more? And I said, just look inside the amount of waste that you're generating. If you cut your lead times down, your order to cash cycle decreases and you get paid sooner. So, start to think about running a business like a business and don't ask for a handout, right? And so, it's important to have these biannual, or a meeting every 6 months with these guys, because then you can talk about these types of situations, talk about how can we make it a win-win, because there's actually a lot of opportunities in-house that if they act on, they could free up a lot of money, right? And so, I would definitely encourage companies, doesn't matter whether you're a large company like a Pfizer or a BMS or an AstraZeneca, or you're a small company, you should have a sit down with the CDMOs, senior folks at the CDMO, so that you can have these conversations and say, hey, here is what's coming down in the pipeline. Because many of the CDMOs don't necessarily have a plan to spend capital investment at their site. Sometimes they wait until very late to make their investment. By then the ship has sailed, right? It's too late for us to give them any business, because you know what? There's somebody else who's got that capacity available that I would rather go to than wait, a year to 8 months for these guys to build up capacity to support us, right? So you have to be very proactive. And again, Lynn nailed it on the head. Smart companies work very closely with their CDMOs proactively and have these kinds of conversations, right? And do we share volumes at that time? No, because it's a cutthroat business. Guess what? When you tell them you have this amount of volume coming through, they'll want to grab all of it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be particular, because you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket.